From Tempe, Arizona, Taste the Tops, it's Drinkinaz with George Lindblom. How are you doing today, guys?
Doing well, George. Doing well.
Awesome.
Doing well.
We have in studio today, or not in studio, but in the bar, which is our studio, we have Matt Trethewey and Greg Sorrels from the Beer Research Institute. And we're happy to have you here tonight, guys.
Thanks for coming.
And we're happy to be here.
George.
Awesome. You guys bring a lot of energy to the show. We appreciate it. Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay. Since we met last week, we've been doing some technical things, getting the show a little bit, sprucing it up.
A lot of technical things.
Okay.
Yeah,
but everybody said, I got feedback, everybody said that you did a fantastic job last week.
Good.
So I want to give you kudos.
Thanks. Yeah.
You're kicking
I've
ass.
been working hard at it, so it feels good to get some good feedback and look
Awesome.
forward to doing some new things.
We're very happy to have you in the Drinkinaz family for sure.
Me too. The beer's tasting great, so
right?
as long as you keep the beer flowing,
The beer is always flowing at Taste the Tops.
Yep.
Yes.
It feels awfully professional in here.
Awesome.
very
It does.
professional. Yeah, like a
Very
cubicle.
professional.
This is like our cubicle here.
I would love this cubicle.
Yeah, this is not a bad place to work.
Yeah.
We got to figure out the pay part of it, but
Sure.
we'll get that figured out
yeah.
sooner or
Well,
later.
When you love what you do,
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right. And the beer is nearly free.
Liquid money.
Yes.
I like.
sure.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we've been drinking beer tonight, as you might already be able to tell, and we have a few things going on here. But before we start talking about the beer that we're drinking, let's talk about the Beer Research Institute. You guys are based out of Mesa, and you're going to be opening up your store on Stapley and Baseline. Is that correct?
Stapling the 60.
Stapley and 60. The big complex, or what's that called there?
Mesa Grand.
Mesa Grand, where you have Texas Roadhouse, you have the theaters, you have all those different restaurants in there, and you guys are going to be part of that whole family in there and bringing craft beer to the masses, which is awesome. Mesa, Arizona, Boomberg, one of the biggest suburbs in the United States. Did you know that Mesa is bigger than Nashville and it's bigger than Buffalo?
It's bigger than Miami.
Bigger than Miami.
Absolutely. I read the same
Absolutely.
report you did. I think we're the seventh largest suburb in the entire United States. There's almost 500,000 people in the city of Mesa.
Right.
When you're driving down the 60, it spans 17 exits. It's a huge city, and there's not nearly enough craft beer in our city.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I read the story about it being a boomberg, and they kind of they defined boombergs as being these giant suburbs without a real definable identity and so forth. And we really need a place like BRI to bring some identity to Mesa. And I'm really happy that you guys are doing it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It'll be the second microbrewery in Mesa. And
first
not
brew
the
pub.
last.
First brew pub.
First
First
brew
brew
pub.
pub, yeah.
Okay.
So
awesome.
a little distinguishing point between us and Desert Eagle there is that they're a production facility and a tasting room, whereas we're going to be a full-on operating restaurant and microbrewery as well.
Okay. And what kind of food are you going to offer? You don't have to. Well, go into as much detail as you want. But what kind of food are you going to be offering there?
Pretty easy to sum up by just calling it a barbecue in Southwest.
Okay.
That's really where our flavor profiles and our passion for food lie. So we're going to have a smoke pit out back. We're going to do some nice, some pig of all fashion. We're going to source our pork through the pork shop, which is a local establishment down in Queen Creek, Arizona.
Okay.
And then some Southwestern flair too. I've always been a big fan of New Mexican cuisine.
Okay.
Hatch green chilies, things
Right.
like that. So a little bit of spice. A little
You
bit
guys
of
ever go to
barbecue.
Los Dos Molinos?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Who
good
hasn't?
stuff.
Who hasn't?
Lights
Right?
your face on fire. Yeah, that's
Well,
what
I've
that's
seen
what we
children
like.
cry
Yeah.
at that
I've seen
restaurant.
grown men cry.
Absolutely.
Can't handle it.
All right, sorry to cut you off there.
I've shed tears. At
so
Los Dos
so
as well.
on the New Mexico flavor profile a little bit.
Yeah, just I've been doing business out in New Mexico for the last 15 years, and when I got over there and discovered those green chilies, I just fell in love with them and
Okay.
really kind of suit my palate. So I've kind of been chasing that for a long time in different restaurants and at home as well. So, again, that's kind of where our palates lies in that spicy Southwestern cuisine. So it's not going to be exclusively New Mexican, but we're going to play with that and play with some other, some Baja influences, some Arizona influences and things like
Nice.
that. But that and barbecue, and we think that that Southwestern style and barbecue really do go hand in hand because you're dealing with similar seasonings. You're dealing with high fat content in meats and things like that. And we think that all of those flavor dynamics are going to pair well with our beers. And so again, our whole business venture here is something that is really designed to feed our passions, and we feel that our passions hopefully will be mirrored in our customers as well. But that's really what we're doing, is trying to do what we love to do and bring that to people.
That's awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about doing what if you do what is not work to you, then you're going to excel at it, right?
Most definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you guys are home brewers, and what do you do by trade at the moment?
Currently, I run a business called Timber Slayer. We do custom installations of all kinds of different products, all kinds of different third-party products, cabinets, crown doors, ceilings, architectural sculptures, just a ton of different. I'm pretty much laying in a custom market of all my woodworking, so it's a great place to be in Arizona.
So cabinet installation,
furniture, type pieces, conference tables, pretty much what anybody can dream up. Get to me in some plans.
Right.
I can estimate and build for them easy.
Now, were you doing that during the bubble?
I was doing a sort of that in the bubble. In the bubble, I was actually, before the bubble burst, I was working for Pulte Homes, which were doing just hundreds and hundreds of homes per week closing. So
right.
Through that bubble burst, I kind of rode that through with Pulte to the end. They actually shut their business down here, and I rode that through to the end. And after that is when I started doing things for myself. I decided I'm tired of working for other people and making money for other people and running other people's businesses.
Right.
That I can do this all myself. I have all the resources and the know-how to continually keep this going for myself, and I have been ever since.
Awesome. Now, Matt,
and just from
how
a
about
third-party
yourself?
perspective, though, the custom woodwork that this guy does is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we can talk about cabinets all day,
Got
but
some
the custom stuff
got
that he
some
does.
Amish genes going on there.
It's pretty fun to watch Greg work, because the pride and the level of craftsmanship that he puts into what he does is it's reflective in the way we brew as well. And that's the reason why we're partners here, is because I see his work ethic and I see the quality and the attention and detail that he puts into things. And I knew as soon as we were going to start a brewery, this is the guy that I needed in my corner with me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let us know a little bit about what your beer flavor profile is. And you got these hot beers. Now I'm thinking a lot of IPA would go with that.
Well, we love IPAs. I mean, it's the beer of the people, right? We love the West Coast style beers, which are hoppy, aggressive, assertive, that are kind of that palate assault. We started drinking those beers in our early craft beer days. We love them. We brew them. We seek them out. We also love Belgian beers, Belgian-style beers, traditional beers from Belgium. I mean, that's really what's in our wheelhouse. We're loving on sours and wood-aged beers and things like that.
Right.
So when we open our brew pub, what you're going to see hopefully, if we do things right, which is obviously the game plan, right? If we do things right, what you're going to see is you're going to see a kind of a 50-50 split of West Coast American-style beers, which are going to be the hoppy, aggressive beers, and then you're going to see the other half of it being more Belgian-inspired beers.
Okay.
So we brew an amazing Belgian blonde that just, literally knocks people out of their seat. Literally.
Nice.
And,
Or out of the pool, whichever you prefer.
People lose their legs on that beer, and it just goes down really, really smooth. It's one that we're very proud of. We do an amazing saison and a couple different variations of it, as well as your triples and your doubles and Belgian wits and things like that. So
Nice.
I think that's like really a playground for us, because we get to really play with that yeast and see what that yeast
Right.
is going to do for us. And it works hard, and it does its job. On the IPA side of things, I think that's more of developing a beer through recipe and making sure that the hops all work and play together. So I think that there's definitely a little more energy that goes into making the IPAs.
There's a lot more energy because that's what we like to consume. That's what we like to drink.
Right.
Anytime we go anywhere, that's what we're drinking.
On the Belgians, we make a nice recipe, we follow our process, and the yeast does the work. We just got to give it time.
Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, we got a lot more ground to cover, and we're going to be talking about some Grand Canyon Brewing beer here in a minute as well. We're going to be right back. All right, guys, and brew gear. Talking about gear, we were talking about gear in the back before the show started, and we had some beer. Whether you're a home brewer or you're a professional brewer, Brew Gear is going to take care of you. They are taking care of small batch brewers and commercial brewers. They offer a full range of kettles, fermenters, and systems from 5 gallons all the way up to 7 barrels. And they sell directly to the customer, which is rare, and they allow you to get the highly engineered system of your dreams at an affordable price. You can find them on the internet at brewgear.com, the place where you need to go no matter what your size. All right, we're back at Taste the Tops with Matt Trethewey and Greg Sorrels from the Beer Research Institute. All right, guys. So what was that you were saying about Phil? Where is he right now?
I think that Phil's in a tiger cage in China right now.
Either that or he's got
Hashtag tiger cage.
hashtag
tiger cage.
Asian woman walking on his back, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
You never know.
I didn't get that text. I didn't.
So are you the one who confirmed that he's in the country?
That's right.
I will not confirm nor deny that. Phil and I have an arrangement where I don't talk about Phil and Phil doesn't talk about me.
I think Phil's he's a double agent, or he's a member of the Witness Protection Program or something like that.
I think Phil might be in a tiger cage in his own
I mean,
home
he's
right
got
now.
the cauliflower ear from being a professional rugby player, but do we really know that? Were you watching the rugby games?
No.
I didn't see it happen.
Yeah.
No. I wasn't
Yeah.
watching one.
No, there's stories.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a blank slate, that guy.
And
Could
and
be
that-
double up
that-
Phil.
Could
Double up
be.
Phil.
Phil's not here to defend himself, so let's have some fun, guys.
Yeah, hey.
Well, I'm having fun at Phil's expense right now.
What do you know about Phil?
So here we go. What does anybody really know about Phil? Have you ever thought about that? You ever sit down and think about that? All right. So
I know that Phil has a lot of our money.
True.
Gee.
We've written checks.
Awesome. All right. So Phil is a brewery engineer by trade. No need to go any further than that. But we have been warming up here on some Grand Canyon Brewing beer. And currently what we're drinking, and I tasked Matt with reading the commercial description for us. So can you go ahead and cover that for us?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. So Grand Canyon says, this is our seasonal brown ale, brings a warmth back to winter. Brewed with maple syrup and aged on bourbon oak. So we definitely get a little bit of bourbon in this. Definitely get the maple that comes through. It's nice and sweet, and you get that. I think you get a little bit of woodiness from the maple. I think you get a little bit of that that's stripped out of the maple there.
Yes, definitely.
It's a
but
little thin for my
it's-
liking.
It's a little light,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, with the name of it again, the official name.
The official name is the Winter Bourbon Barrel Bomber.
Okay, with winter, and this is just a stereotype, but I'm looking for
warmer.
a thicker winter warmer, perhaps. Yeah,
Heavier,
and,
boozier.
and it's a little bit leaning towards the amber. To me,
I would
It
definitely
is,
call this
yeah.
more. This is more of a to me. It's more of a barrel aged amber, and
Yeah.
it's a pleasant beer. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's but yeah, the label might be a little misleading. You think you might be getting something a little heavier, warmer, higher in alcohol, and it's actually a really smooth drinking beer for a winter warmer.
Now we got to talk about the bag inside. What is this? Now,
Greg,
again,
Greg
Matt,
likes to put his
again-
bag in our beer too.
Whoa.
Again, Matt, I tasked
Beer me-
you with
beer me
reading
up
that
here.
for me because my eyes
The
suck.
description
So,
again?
yeah. What's in the bag? Can you tell us what's in the bag? Does it say?
I've seen empty bottle of this before, and it's actually got an oak chip in the bottom.
An oak chip and
It
maybe.
says that the flavor bomb. So that's what they call it. is
flavor bomb, yeah,
bomb,
the little-
Yeah.
The flavor bomb is packed with bourbon barrel oak sticks, then
Okay.
placed in the bomber to condition within the beer. So,
Okay.
so again, reading that description, I would expect a really full flavored oak experience in there,
Uh-huh.
and the oak's very subtle in this
Yeah,
beer.
I'm not getting a big oak bomb. I'm not getting. I'm not. This beer is subtle, and I think that the.
It'd be more of an oak 22 round than an oak bomb.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not quite an AK.
Yeah.
It's about a 22.
Yeah,
Again, not offensive.
Not at all.
Nothing about this is.
No, and
you know.
well, what I like about it is that like sometimes oaked beers are a little too heavy on the oak, and you get that astringency from it. You don't get any
Right.
of that in here at all. You're getting sweetness from this barrel. You're definitely getting a little bit of the boozy aspect that you get from a barrel, but you don't get any of that oak astringency. So that's what I like about it. I think that if more brewers took more of a deft hand to oaking instead of going so aggressive with it, I
Right.
think there'd be a lot more better beers out there.
Right.
And
Now,
so I like the oakiness in this.
I recently I did my first oaking, and I did a little research on it. And do you guys know that vanillin, the chemical compound in oak, is also the same chemical compound in the vanilla bean? So oak vanillin is found in oak. It's also found in vanilla. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Ooh,
I've
yeah.
heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that.
We actually
Well,
we
we are
talked to,
beer geeks. Let's not pretend we're something different.
You know, we were talking to Patrick Ware when we were out at the Strong Beer Festival a couple weeks ago, and we were having their oak barrel barley wine, which is fantastic.
Right.
I mean, that's a fantastic beer, probably the best beer that we had at the festival.
Most definitely.
And he was
The
talking
Buffalo
about
Trace.
that. He was talking about that vanillin that's coming out of the barrels,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very, very prominent in that beer with no additional, with no vanilla additions. To
You know
it,
who
so-
hit dead nuts is Julie Meeker. She's in the crowd here. I think we're going to get her later on.
Hey, Julie.
There's Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Hi. And
Julie's our stalker. She
Yes.
follows us everywhere we go.
And Julie just recently did a bourbon porter with bourbon yeast and bourbon in it, Jack Daniels, she told me, and a lot of vanilla, and it kicked ass. It was delicious. It was absolutely amazing. And we have the Springfest competition coming up here for Arizona Society of Homebrewers, and if she enters that, she's going to win gold. It's that good. It was amazing.
She deserves gold. They make some good beer over there, and her brewer Will.
Will Hampton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we went out there to their little open house that they threw, we sampled that beer, and Will was able to talk about it at length, and he's very proud of that beer. Julie's very proud of that beer, and they should be. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
I think Mother Bunch is well, for people who don't know them, they're going to sneak up on people, but for people who do know them, they're gonna kick some serious ass.
It's one to look
Yeah.
out for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they have a historic building over there in Roosevelt, and
The building's sick.
yeah,
The building's just sick.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much character, and it's history. It's got history. It's got
Right.
character. It's got very open space, and they've got a blank canvas there to work from. A lot of times when businesses open or breweries, you take a long time to create character in your space. They're walking into character, and they just
Right.
get to enhance it from there.
And they're in the Bayless building, which is even the predecessor to the AJ Bayless for natives out there that are listening, like myself. AJ Bayless was like the grocery store here, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago that everybody went to. I think Bashas bought Bayless out. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that AJ's is an homage to AJ Bayless.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And what
So-
is Food City in homage to?
Carnitas.
Yeah.
Simone.
Boyle.
And that's some good shit in its own right.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. All right, so we have this this beer that we're drinking here, and we're going to get ready to try another one here from Grand Canyon. And Grand
I
Canyon.
just want to say I love the nose in this beer.
Do you?
It's a bouquet of
Everybody smell.
It's a bouquet.
It is. It's good.
it's a bouquet of awesomeness.
And maple syrup is not cheap.
It is not.
No, it's freaking crazy expensive.
We recently found that out. We put some in a saison. Yeah, definitely. It enhances it quite a bit, but yeah, at our expense.
I heard about a guy maybe in Charlie Papazian's book or something that did a beer that was all maple syrup, no water.
Oh my goodness.
No water,
What?
just all syrup.
That's
And-
crazy.
and fermented it down from
That's outrageous.
syrup only. You know how
Wow.
expensive that would be?
You know how much I'd put that on my pancakes? I put a lot on my pancakes.
My wife likes, instead of liking maple syrup, she will choose syrup-flavored syrup over maple syrup.
Really?
Yes.
If you ever need us to have a talk with her, just
Slap
let
her
us
around
know.
for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to be queuing up the next beer here, which is the Shaggy Bock. And I believe this actually has barrel shavings in it from a barrel or something like that. Matt's going
I
to
can
read
read
it
it
for
again
us.
for you, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the great light over here to read in.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's doing that without glasses, too, by the way.
Contact lenses.
I've got glasses and I
Oh,
can't
no,
read
I've
shit.
Got, I've got superpowers. All right. We need one more hit here.
You guys hear the background noise here at Tops? Taste of Tops. A great place to be.
Taste of Tops is popping
Having
tonight.
fun, that's for sure.
Definitely. Great
All
lineup
right,
over
well,
here.
This classic box style uses Pilsner malt that we smoke and locally obtained. Alligator and shaggy tark juniper wood, and then aged and fermented on toasted oak. So there's some juniper in there, some smoked malt. And
In
then,
the bag itself.
That's what. They're saying that they brew with that. Now in the bag, they're saying in the flavor bomb is just a medium roast oak stick. Yeah.
It's like tight stick. tight to
Yeah,
a stick.
so we're
It's
hey,
dropped.
This isn't that kind of show, is it?
Whoa, hey.
Yeah, the license is
We're
in
not
the back of the
Colorado.
car.
Let's
man.
go out to my truck.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, they're saying that it's brewed with juniper, some smoked malt, and then aged on toasted oak. So that's interesting.
And you know what? Let's do this before we need to frame. I think we need to frame everything in the context of the fact that Grand Canyon Brewing has the balls to do something like this and take ingredients, whether it be barrel chips or oak chips or whatever, put it in a bag and put it in their beer. I mean, that's pretty ballsy, don't you think?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Isn't that what craft drinkers are looking for?
Absolutely.
You know,
cheers to that.
Yeah,
though.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Cheers,
think that
guys.
we're all looking for something new and something innovative like that for
Right.
sure. But they're taking one hell of a risk doing that.
Right. And let's go back to the packaging. I think when they take that risk, they're running into packaging issues. Perhaps we're going to go to it here in a bit, but we did have an IPA that we cracked open. You know, one of them wasn't great. It wasn't in good shape. And do you think that could be from putting a bag of a foreign leafy substance into the beer? You know, I mean,
There's a lot of risk involved in dropping something foreign in a bottle.
yeah.
After the brewing process, that's for sure.
So props to them for sure.
Definitely, props
Yeah.
to them. Props to them.
Yeah.
These other two that we cracked, perfect.
Right.
Yeah,
Let me get a smell in the nose here.
This is interesting. I personally don't care for lagers or for German beers in particular, and this one's actually relatively smooth. And then I was really concerned about the smokiness. Again, my palate doesn't really appreciate smoky malts, and so I thought that this was going to come off as kind of harsh, but that's a really, really smooth beer. There's just a shit ton of flavor going on in here, edit or not,
Right.
whatever you need to do, buddy.
No,
But
Light, dry,
mean-
sweet, and a little oaky. Little toasted oaky. It's
Yeah. This now, if I had to choose between the two that we've had so far, I'd take this one for sure.
so what's interesting
The
there
Shaggy
is that
Bock.
the smoke and the smoke and the oak are playing really well together, and you get I'm sitting out barbecuing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Right.
I feel like I'm sitting by the pool right now.
Yeah, barbecuing some ribs, and this is the beer that I probably want to be drinking while I'm doing that, or at least when I take that first bite of that
and
rib.
and it's subtle enough to where it's not offensive. Adam, beer that shall go nameless earlier this evening we had was just way too much on the campfire, right?
Yeah, I mean you were getting a lot of that smoky flavor. This is way light compared to that.
Mellow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really something hard to deal with is the smokiness. I think that's hard to dial in.
I'll tell you what,
Definitely.
the residual sweetness in this beer, and then the smoky and the oaky together, I'm not really getting any juniper out of it at all.
I think you get some juniper in the nose.
Well,
Yeah.
do you
Little
know
bit.
what juniper would taste like? I mean, have you ever chewed on a juniper tree or had
I-
juniper syrup?
I don't make it a point of eating juniper trees.
Because it's
but-
juniper berries that make gin, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
so that'd be a different
Yep.
deal
Yeah.
there, huh? So it's, but yeah, this is the kind of beer that I want to eat or drink while I'm barbecuing, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good barbecue beer.
Yeah,
You
it's a
can't,
good
you
beer.
can't barbecue without a beer in your hand. This is the
Right.
one it would be.
Absolutely.
Or throw a little bit of that into your sauce.
Oh,
or to
definitely.
based on those ribs, that'd be delicious.
Definitely.
So does this get your wheels turning for stuff that you guys want to be doing at your brewery?
Well, again, this style doesn't really play into our wheelhouse.
Uh-huh.
It's not really how we roll, but again, that doesn't mean we can't appreciate it. And
Right.
what it does do in terms of inspiration is tell you that don't be afraid to pull your balls out, right?
Right.
Because when you do that, you can hit a home run sometimes, and that's a delicious beer that, quite frankly, if I wasn't on the show, I wouldn't have picked that bottle off the shelf and bought
Right.
it and taken it home.
Right.
So I'm really glad that I got to try it here because that's you need to experience those things sometimes, and sometimes
Right.
you need something like this to do that. This is way out of my style range, but I would definitely. That's a fun beer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. So what kind of time frames are we looking at for the Beer Research Institute?
We open tomorrow.
Awesome.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You know that guy Phil?
Phil,
It's all,
Spivey.
it's all on Phil.
It's all in Phil.
We heard that he
Really?
brought our brew system back in his carry-on, but we don't believe it.
It's on a slow boat from China, from what I hear.
We hope the boat's already left the docks. So
You think? Really? Come on.
probably not. Probably not.
Probably not. We're optimists, clearly. We're opening a goddamn brewery, so we're optimists by nature. But we've had some pretty big milestones lately. We've got our lease signed, and all of our funding's been in place for a while now. We're in architecture currently, and we've got our space laid out completely, so we know exactly how it's going to lay out.
So did you guys sit down together and design what the space is going to look like?
We conceptualized it.
We took the shell of what we had because we're taking over a former restaurant space. So we took the shell that we had and we altered it precisely to our needs. We took out a banquet room, and that's now our brew house. We took out maybe 40 feet of walls so that we could make our brew house as big as we wanted. We captured a little bit of the kitchen space to tighten down our kitchen because it was, quite frankly, massive before.
Is there any floor cutting that has to go on or anything like that?
Yeah.
There's some floor cutting, but
Is
it's just in the brewery. The kitchen has all of its floor drains and everything. So
we really walked into a great second generation space. So it's pretty much designed for our needs, other than the brew house. So that's really the space that we need to redesign. But we're in design on that, which is just great news, because that means that we're probably about 2 weeks away from having construction documents and being able to submit to the city. From there, we get our demo permit, and then we go into construction. And with what little construction we have to do, again, being optimistic, we think that we're going to have a really quick turnaround on the construction. And we both anticipate that we are going to be sitting on a fully functional, completely built-out restaurant and brewery and twiddling our thumbs waiting for equipment. And that's just, it's just the nature of the beast. We get that. But if all goes well, and that's really the only thing that we can wrap our heads around right now, if all goes well, we should be open in June.
Really?
Yeah.
Like June 1st?
In June.
June 1st-ish.
Sometime June-ish.
Yeah, June-ish. You know what?
Juneteenth.
You heard it here first. June 1st.
June
June
1st.
1st. Oh, wow.
At 12 p.m.
Okay,
right?
you
You got time? You got
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock
we're open for lunch,
10
bro.
o'clock a.m. in the morning.
So I have your permission to post it as a story on drinkinaz.com tomorrow morning.
You can do that, because we'll
June
backpedal.
1st.
We'll backpedal all day long.
Beer Research Institute to be open on June 1st.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
Do it.
we'll backpedal if we need to.
Yeah. Awesome.
We're shooting for that day. We, quite frankly, we again, being optimistic about that, we hope that that's the target date to hit. If we miss that, it's not going to be the end of the world for us, and we'll regroup.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely.
All right. So we're going to come back here in a minute, but before we do, let's take a second to talk about Sun Devil Liquor. Hey, you guys ever been to Sun Devil Liquors?
I love that place.
Isn't that awesome?
Great place.
I mean, they got the cellar.
Seller's legit.
I mean, you're in Mesa, Arizona, but you think you're in actually some place that has like gobs of culture when you walk in there, and you're like, this is a liquor store, but underneath there's a whole
Underground dungeon.
yeah, underground paradise.
Here's
more like it.
my routine. I walk in there with an empty CO2 tank.
Uh-huh.
I hand it off to the guy. I go downstairs. I get a pint.
Right.
While my CO2 tank's chilling and being filled, I peruse all the bottles. I
Right.
grab one or two of them, and then I check out with a beer in my belly, 2 bombers in my hands, and a full
CO2 for 3
tank.
months.
Done.
Awesome. All right. So Sun Devil Liquors, you go down there. They have 8 different beers on tap, which they're always world-class beers. They also have, in addition to that, they have a beer on cask. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. And you can get over 2,000 different wines to choose from down there in the cellar. It's the coolest place in Mesa, Arizona, because they store wine down there for people. Millionaires keep their wines down there as like speculation. So you can go down to the cellar in Sun Devil Liquors. You can get a beer. You can be cooled off. You can have over 1,000 different beers to choose from out of the bottle. 8 different beers on tap. 9 actually, 1 on cask. 1,800 different wines. It's the place to go. They have tastings every Thursday. They have wine tastings every Thursday. They have beer tastings every Friday. They have live music. If you're ever down there on Country Club and University, check it out. Sun Devil Liquor is the place to be. And we're back from Tempe, Arizona. Taste the Tops with Matt and Greg. Guys, So, getting ready to open on June 1st, and one more beer to drink, actually, from Grand Canyon while we're doing this segment. Thanks, guys. Tell us a little bit about your system and what people have to expect from the Beer Research Institute.
Well, we're going with a 5-barrel system. We're going with the 5-barrel system. We're going with 6 serving tanks. We're going with three 5-barrel fermenters. We're going with 110. Get your own beard, bro.
We really need a video camera.
Everybody's frisky at the moment.
We in our small brew space, we're gonna have a 10 by 20 cooler.
So 5-barrel, that sounds okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds a little bit of like an unconventional size. 5-barrel. I hear a lot about 3 and 7, but 5.
We had kind of an unconventional budget.
Yeah, it's what our budget allowed. We could that's what we could max out.
And how many fermenters?
6 fermenter. Well, we'll have 3 5-barrel fermenters and 1 10-barrel fermenter.
Okay.
And then we've got room to expand that too early on if we need more fermentation space. But the reason we settled on 5 is a very easy number to manage too, in terms of the space of the tanks. And then as we brew beer and we keg it down, when you brew 5 barrels, you get 10 kegs. So
right.
So it's easy to manage and easy to inventory and things like that. So what we did is we got the biggest system.
So it's a system for the mathematically challenged.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world.
But he can stack a keg, let me tell you what.
Oh, I can tap a keg. So, that's kind of where we landed on that. We were we spent a lot of time thinking about a 7-barrel and considering 10 barrels and upwards. But what we really wanted to do here is we want to have a really, really cool place that is a restaurant and a brewery. And so we're balancing both sides of that. And, I don't want to create any illusions out there. Greg and I are both self-made. I mean, we don't have some big angel investor that's funding this whole damn thing.
Okay.
So it's us. We're doing this.
Kudos.
And
Yeah.
so so what you do is you take all your cards and you push them in and you say, this is what we're going to do. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we might be kicking ourselves in the ass for getting a 5-barrel system, and I can't wait till we have that problem.
Right.
We'll bless somebody else with it as soon as we get a new one.
Right.
It's no big deal.
It might be me over at Arizona Native Brewing.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah, down the street.
You got an in.
So yeah, right.
You got an in.
While we're dreaming.
You're in there in a circle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean that's really
What do the
where we're-
wives think about this?
Matt, go ahead.
Put on bump.
No, you know what? I tell you what. My wife has always been ridiculously supportive of every business venture I've ever been in. She knows that I take a lot of risk, but she knows that it usually pays off.
Okay.
And so she's got my back. She's in my corner. She loves the beer that we make, and she sees that when we're brewing beer, we're on the dot. It's that's where we belong,
Right.
and it makes us happy.
Right.
And we're passionate about it.
Right.
And so happy wife, happy life. That whole
Right.
thing.
Right.
My wife gets her happiness from my happiness, that kind of a thing. It's a great partnership. So she's
happy husband, happy wife, happy life.
boom,
Happy
so,
house.
Yeah.
So it's really about. I mean, there's a great dynamic there and a lot of support. And so, does she think it's risky? Sure, but everything I've ever done in business has been risky and it's paid off. So what's one more roll of the dice?
Awesome.
Yeah. My wife Teresa, she's one of our biggest fans. She's my biggest supporter.
The wind beneath your wings.
She is. I mean, she really is.
We're really cheesy and corny. Yeah.
We are, but that's just how we are.
Right.
So being our biggest supporter and being in our corner the whole time,
That's awesome.
She knows this is what everything's been evolving into, and she's ready for this venture just as much as we are. So she's not only our biggest supporter, but she's in my corner, just boom ba rah 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 all day long. If I have a down day, if we have a brew that's gone sideways, or if I've messed something up, I let her know about it, and she's, you know what, pick yourself up. You're going to do better next time. This is just one session. She's my backbone in my business ventures and everything. Being that I'm now going into my second business venture, she knows I'm spread pretty thin, as well as she has. She's spread pretty thin going back to school, and in doing so, it lets me have the time I need to put forward to both my businesses to make sure that we're successful the whole time. So as soon as she gets back from school, she's, what can I do to help? How was your day? how can I make you feel better? She's that type of person. So
we got a great support structure.
Very important. Yeah,
for sure.
that's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. So the beer that we're drinking now, the Shaggy Bock, we got to clear that out so we can make way for the IPA. And tell us a little bit, Matt. I want to put you on the spot. Tell us a little bit about your IPA.
The IPA that we drank earlier, it's it's a standard American West Coast IPA. We brew it to about 7% ABV. We started out with domestic 2-row malt and some crystal. For the bittering charge, we like it's about 70 IBUs on that beer, and our bittering charge is all your deep danky hops, your Columbus, your Centennial. You got Magnum.
Now, is this like dank? Dank? You say danky? I'm not a hipster by any means. I have a very short beard. Is danky like the same as dank?
When I say danky or when I say dank, I'm talking about buds.
Right. I thought it was dank.
Yeah, it's dank.
Yeah. But the adjective would be danky.
Dankish.
Danky.
Like
dankish.
like dankish. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
Dankish.
like,
Okay. I'm a nerd.
dank.
When I'm drinking that beer, it tastes like I'm drinking Bud, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It makes me happy. So, so those dank, resiny, deep, pungent hops. That's what we're talking about there, right? And then so in the finishing on that beer, we like to go with our favorite hop combo is Simcoe and Amarillo. And so we finished that beer off at a 0-minute addition. It's a huge charge of Simcoe and Amarillo. We will pull that down for about 15-20 minutes, let all that infuse, and then after fermentation, we go into a secondary, and we dry hop that with a few ounces of Amarillo hops. So you get that nice fruity, pungent, melony, tropical fruits, all those nice aromas and textures that you get from that Amarillo. So it's a great drinking beer. I think you enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's nice and dry, 7% alcohol,
Yep.
dank bitter charge, fruity aroma and flavor charge, and it's we're proud of it. It's a great beer.
And you know what? The beer is not in the caliber of homebrew. It's in the caliber of professional beer. And I asked you guys if you were going to be doing Springfest coming up, and you guys said no because, you're already thinking to the future. You're already thinking, in terms of being a professional brewer. I think the people that have IPAs coming up in that competition are going to thank you because you would have kicked their ass. It was a really good beer. And I'm not just saying that. I drink a lot of IPA. I'm actually a gold medal winner. Ash gold medal winner for IPA.
There you go.
Nice.
2004.
First of all, thanks for the kind words, right?
Yeah.
We appreciate that. And, that's certainly not what we're going for. We're just really, really proud of what we do. And we do put a lot of time into recipe development and then, the process that we follow on our brew day, how we handle the beer and how we ferment it. So love hearing that from you. The reason why we're not entering any more homebrew competitions is because we've already stepped over the line and we've announced that we're opening a brewery here in Phoenix.
Right.
And so that line could be very blurred. And we are homebrewers by heart. It's where we started. It's where we're always going to be. We're always going to carry that passion, that attitude, and that approach.
I hope you guys give some love back to the homebrewers. Like when you open up, you give them, you have some leftover yeast, you hook them up.
For sure. We've had amazing relationships with a lot of the East Valley brew scene. Anthony at Santan, the Beards down at Arizona Wilderness, the guys over at Sleepy Dog, Steve McFate, John up at Oso. We've been welcomed in with open arms before we even announced that we're opening a brewery, so we've got some great relationships there. But, we want to give back. And, one of the programs that I love in this community is the Oso program and how they bring home brewers in to brew on their system. And we don't know what we don't know how we're going to approach that yet, but we definitely want to go back to the brewing community. The name of our company is the Beer Research Institute, so that really implies that we're going to be playing a lot. We're going to be playing in the lab a lot, and we want to bring as many people into that fold as we can. Let's spread the beer knowledge, spread the beer passion. Let's everybody drink great beer in Arizona, and let's fucking have some fun, right?
Yep, screwed that one up.
No worries.
It was a quick fuck
Adam
off,
will
too.
fix it.
I can bleep that out.
So
It's America.
the system that you guys are brewing on right now, your pilot system, do you plan on keeping that at the brewery?
We plan on keeping that. It's definitely going to be some R&D for us. We're going to use that to do one-off batches before we actually throw them into our production, which will help us develop recipes a little easier, a little faster.
Because you know what I could see happening is, like, you know, you guys sponsoring a category during the Ash, Oktoberfest, and you know, maybe the specialty or something like that, and, and bringing somebody in, a home brewer in, to brew with you guys on your pilot system, to give it a whirl. You know,
maybe we could do 23A.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we can play on that level for sure, but we can also bring that home brewer in on a 5-barrel system, which is a little sexier.
Who do you guys see as your inspirations? Is it Caglione at Dogfish? Is it the guys over at Stone? Like,
I got mine on lock.
Who inspire you? Well, go ahead.
Mine on lock are Vinny, Russian River, hands down. I mean, the guy's, he's just amazing, and the spirit that they have up there, and just everything that they put out is just, you know, world class. And then you get down into San Diego, and you know, Greg and I both spent a tremendous amount of time, probably too much time in San Diego, but we love our, you know, the Pizza Port.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, I mean, those guys are just, everything they do within those pubs is amazing. And then you get up north and you get into Lost Abbey, blows my mind every time. Yeah. You get into Ballast Point and you see what those guys are doing with IPAs, and you know, when Sculpin hit the scene, and how they're playing with chilies in their beer. And
now Little Italy.
Has anybody ever had Sour Winch? Has anybody ever had the Crack Whore?
Oh yeah,
holy,
it's delicious.
Christ, it's delicious. It's a sour.
Who makes that?
Ballast Point.
And it's Crack Whore.
It's called Crack Whore. It's called Sour Winch, but it's brewed with Marionberries. Marionberry from BC.
Gotcha.
So the nickname of it is Crack Whore.
Awesome.
And so when you walk in there and you're a Crack Whore, it's just fun. But so like that kind of spirit, you know, and you go from Ballast Point down to Home Brew Mart where they started, and you see that system, and you see how they're running there. So we like those small, independent brew pub style places,
Greg?
that have been highly successful.
Greg, what's your go-to on your inspiration?
So my go-to is Green Flash. Green Flash, their hop forward beers, all their I mean, the best beer I think I've ever had over there is the Palate Wrecker. I had it, I think one of their first batches in their tasting room, and I walked in and I saw their menu, and I saw Palate Wrecker on there, and I knew what it was going to do to my palate, and I wanted it so bad. And
abuse me.
It was everything it's made out to be and more.
Nice.
Definitely. Let's see, other than that, Mad River Brewing. I grew up around Mad River Brewing in Blewett, California, my whole life. They've been open since '96, and that was about the time I got into high school. As I got into high school, my babysitter actually worked over there, and I got the shorts and overs.
What?
So I became a huge fan, from an early age. And I've enjoyed watching their brewery grow and watching all their different styles come to fruition. They've got several awards for their barley wines and their pale ales, and I'm just enjoying everything they're doing over there.
Awesome. So I would sum it up by saying this: you guys are a new brewery in a crazy huge metropolis of Mesa, Arizona. When you look at the per capita person to brewery, we're looking at 1 to about 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are inspired by these California hop-forward breweries, right?
Definitely.
And Mesa, Arizona is in for a treat, for sure.
We hope so, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to pull a little local inspiration, because I think we should, because, you know, this is Arizona beer, right?
Right.
We are ridiculously inspired by Santan and by the beers over at Arizona Wilderness and Steve McFate.
He's such a great guy.
Dude's
I
doing
love
some
that guy.
amazing things up in Scottsdale, and
Right.
you know, there's some great beer coming out of this community, and we have ridiculously huge shoes to step in.
Right.
Huge.
Okay. Well, you know what? With your attitude, I think you guys are going to go far. And Greg and Matt, I want to thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks,
and
George.
This is George at Drinkinaz, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great day.
Be all right. Boom.
All right.
In the house.